Thank you. It is our honor and privilege to have with us today our distinguished chief guest for the event, Shri Praveen Garg, Joint Secretary, Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance. I'd like to please take this opportunity to invite him onto the stage. I'd also like to invite our special guest, Shri Ananta Barua, Executive Director, SEBI. And our host for today's event, Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO, BSE. As a welcome gesture, Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan will present our esteemed guests with floral bouquets. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them both a big round of applause. Due to unforeseen circumstances, Shri Rajiv Kumar Agarwal, whole-time member, SEBI, was unable to join us today, but he wishes the event all the success. I'd now like to request our esteemed dignitaries to please proceed down to light the auspicious lamp. Thank you. The BSE and Indian Clearing Corporation Limited have engaged with foreign portfolio investors globally and launched various initiatives to develop FPI interests in the Indian capital markets. Interactions with FPIs revealed the need to address the requirement for qualitative information to be readily available. Towards this end, the BSE and ICCL have put together a concise FPI Handbook, a first of its kind in India, which contains all the information in a concise manner which an FPI needs to know to make investments in India. BSE has also taken the initiative to translate the handbook in 8 international languages, including traditional and simplified Chinese, Spanish, French, German, Arabic, and Japanese besides English. And the translated copies will be available in their e-version on the BSE website. This is truly a unique initiative globally. We are delighted to be launching the FPI Handbook and e-versions today. I'd now like to request Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan to kindly give the welcome remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan.
Shri Praveen Garg, Joint Secretary, Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance. Shri Ananta Barua, Shri Samar Banwat, Srimati Nayana Ovalekar, Shri Sriram Krishnan, Shri Samir Gupta, Professor Ashima Goyal, Shri Sunil Gidwani, Ms. Richi Sancheti. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and privilege to be in front of you. India is one of the fastest growing economies now in the world, with GDP growth rate in excess of 7% and probably reaching 8%. At the same time, India has not achieved its potential. Wherever we go, people tell us that India has not lived up to the expectations, and we have probably much more to go going forward. In some sense, in an economy, savings comes from households, and then there are other ways to earn savings is also from outside. India has been saving close to 30% of its GDP, but most of it goes in physical assets, while as rest of the world seems to be investing more in financial assets. And somewhere on the line, if India has to grow at double-digit growth, it has to also aspire to attract more investments from not only Indian investors, but also investors from abroad. With a view to improving the understanding of how to invest in India, BSE has been taking making many programs, and one of them is related to the FPIs. The number of FPIs registered with SEBI has seen a significant growth, with over 8,717 FPIs registered currently, as compared to 8,214 registered during previous year. So FPIs look for information on the government policies, mostly on taxation, sectoral remits, and other things. And in addition, they also seek information on the process of accessing the Indian capital markets. The absence of consolidated sources of information for FPIs contribute to delays in understanding the FPI processes and larger lead time to access India, while also creating perception of India being difficult to access market. We at BSE, as I said, have tried to understand how to attract FPIs to India, and in that context, the ICCL, which is BSE's 100% subsidiary, has taken initiative to publish a comprehensive, structured, and easy-to-understand FPI handbook titled FPIs, Easing Access to India, Fulfilling the Needs of FPIs for Qualitative and One-Point Source of Information, along with Pivot Consultancy. Mr. Viraj Kulkarni and Mr. K. Kumar have been responsible for this book. Over a period, we have got a request from various investors to publish this information in their languages. So today we have got the books compiled in Japanese, German, Arabic, French, Spanish, simplified and traditional Chinese, besides English, and it will be made available today in physical form as well as in e-version today onwards, for which we have gathered. So thank you very much for coming here, and we look forward to a great discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, Shri Ananta Barua, Executive Director, SEBI, will share a few words with us. Shri Ananta Barua.
Mr. Praveen Garg, Mr. Chauhan, and the other dignitaries. You might have seen there is a lot of changes which has taken place as far as this investment through the foreign portfolio investors. Especially what we have seen, earlier the flows which were coming through FPI route was through, as you know, there was some special treaties were there, and they were taking advantage of those, and they were coming through those routes. And it has been the effort of the authorities here to diversify the sources of FPI investment in India. The whole objective is to draw the long-term flows to in India, which is not disruptive. And we have seen that in the last year, even though the flows from FPI was not that which was the year before, when India received about 45 billion FPI investment. Last year, India was, as far as foreign investment is concerned, the FDI investment was very high. And one of the concerns was that if the FPI, they withdraw their money due to some reasons, whether it will disrupt the Indian stock market. And we have seen the Indian market has deepened, and especially there have been a good investment from various sectors, especially mutual fund. And they are acting as a counterbalance to any, if there is any, due to some reasons, whether it is a taper tantrum or for any other reasons. And therefore it is necessary that the sources of this foreign investment comes through all over the world. And there is a development, as you know, globally, especially the interest rates are very low, and in some cases it is negative. And therefore, the more and more investors are seeking information from us the way they want to invest in India. Especially if you see in Japan and other thing, this negative interest rate, in some cases they are seeking avenues, because in some cases, because if they deposit with the banks, they have to pay negative interest rate, and therefore there are scope for hoarding. So instead of hoarding, they are seeking avenues to see where they can invest. And if you see, as far as the India is concerned, there are a lot of steps has been taken to make the investment in India a pleasant exercise. As you know, in 2012, SEBI started an exercise for simplifying this foreign portfolio investment regulations. And it is a total departures we have taken earlier. SEBI used to register these FPI investors. Now, instead of SEBI registering this one, a new proposal was undertaken whereby the DDPs, that is the custodians who have been granted registration in DDPs, they have been interested to register those FPIs. The reason being, with their foreign they have an advantage of foreign branch from where the FPI comes, and also they will be able to process their applications. So that process will be very smooth. And we have also gone for a risk-based KYC, where especially in case of pension fund and other agencies, where the requirement of KYC is to the minimum. After this new regime has come, we have seen there is a number of registrations for FPI has increased, which is now more than 8,800 FPI, which have been registered with SEBI. And as far as the products, earlier there was restrictions on FPI, on investment in some products, and the last year a lot of steps has been taken to allow FPI to invest in many products like AIF category 3, then REIT, InvIT, then even corporate bond, and recently there was a proposal to allow them to invest also in unlisted corporate bonds, debt securities. And the government has also renegotiated this DTA agreement, whereby there will be no discrimination between the investors, whether it comes from any jurisdictions. Further, there was one more section which was introduced as Section 9A, whereby the effort is being made where the foreign fund managers could relocate to India. And SEBI had also SEBI also came out with a consultation paper providing a framework whereby this, the fund managers who manage these foreign funds could be registered under SEBI portfolio managers regulations. These are the new development, and I am happy that today, as I was telling earlier, some jurisdictions where the investors are very keenly seeing whether, as far as India is concerned, because if you see the advantage of interest rate, and also the level of corporate governance in India is very high. And there was a one as far as the ranking of India, as far as the protection of monetary interest, India ranks quite high. It is, I think, one of the, it comes among 7 top countries where the level of protection of shareholders is very high. And therefore, we expect that there will be more and more investment which will come through this route. And I'm happy that BSE and CSILs have taken this initiative to come out with this FPI Handbook, which is to be in various languages. And especially if you see, we have a FPI regulations, and we have also laid down a total operating procedures for the FPI, and we also came out with FAQ for investments of FPI in India. And therefore, this is one of the good development which the investors themselves can see in the language they understand. And therefore, it will be very good and for the investors, especially from the regions like China and other places who are not that conversant with English. With this, I wish that this handbook will be used by all the investors. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I now request our distinguished chief guest, Shri Praveen Garg, Joint Secretary, Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, to give the keynote address. Shri Praveen Garg.
Shri Barua ji, Executive Director, SEBI, Ashish Chauhan ji, CEO and MD, BSE, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished gathering here. It's really a pleasure and it's a matter of pride that ICCL has brought out all the instructions, frequently asked questions, and how to invest in India by FPIs in different languages. And they are releasing it today. Also, they are putting it on the website of BSE so that investors from all the parts of the world can access it and understand the Indian market, how to invest in the Indian market. The Indian economy is experiencing a gradual but a far-reaching transformation. Our macroeconomics scenario is characterized by strong economic growth, comfortable price situation, low current account deficit, highest ever foreign exchange reserves, and fiscal deficit is within the limits and as thought under the FRBM Act. The IMF and World Bank has referred to India as a bright spot. Indian economy is doing well. We are looking towards double-digit growth for number of years and for next decade. Now this double-digit growth requires a lot of capital, and that capital has to come from all the directions. It cannot be just a domestic capital contributing to it. So the FPIs become very important to achieve that kind of a growth. Of course, growth means that a lot of people, a lot of Indian population, which is still living in poverty. We have something called poverty line, which is very commonly used word in the rural India. So when 37% of the population, these figures might have improved in the sense might have gone to 30%. My last recollection is 37% of the Indian population is below poverty line. So growth is very important so that they have the basic amenities of life. They have a decent standard of living. And that growth can happen only by investments. Investments have to be domestic or foreign investments. And that's how the FPIs play a very important role. It has become an attractive destination for FPIs. Even when the Brexit was happening, when Brexit happened, then it did not affect India much. To facilitate FPIs in India, a lot of measures have been taken. There have been a lot of regulations by SEBI. There have been a lot of developments, a lot of initiatives taken by the Finance Ministry so that there is an ease of doing business, cost of transaction comes down, there is transparency, and FPIs are able to participate in a transparent and efficient manner. The government is committed to improving the policy framework for FPIs. An important milestone was the announcement of Unified Foreign Portfolio Investor Regime in 2014, based on the recommendations of Shri Chandrasekhar Committee. These regulations have enabled rationalization, harmonization of various foreign portfolio investment routes, and establishment of a simple regulatory framework. These regulations have also introduced risk-based categorization of FPIs, which is aligned with the global model. And to have more predictable regime for investment by FPIs, the medium-term framework for FPIs limits in debt securities has been set out. The limits for FPI investment in debt securities are being announced fixed in rupee terms. The limits for FPI investments in the central government securities are being increased in phases to reach 5% of the outstanding stock by March 2018. In aggregate terms, this is expected to open up room for additional investment of rupees 1,200 billion in the limit for central government securities by March 2018. Similarly, the corporate debt limit of $51 billion has been redefined as the combined corporate debt limit for all the foreign investments in rupee-denominated bonds issued both onshore and overseas Indian corporates, overseas by the Indian corporates. Similarly, FPIs have been permitted to invest in units of REITs, InvITs, and Category 3 AIFs. They have been also permitted to acquire non-convertible debentures bonds which are under default, either fully or partly, in the repayment of principal on maturity or principal installment in the case of an amortized bond. Recently, in the last budget, we also made an announcement to expand investment basket of FPIs to include unlisted debt securities and pass-through securities issued by securitization by SPVs. This is under the process. We are shortly going to come out with the FEMA regulations on to include unlisted debt securities for the investment by FPIs. I'm very happy that BSE and Indian Clearing Corporation has taken this initiative. I wish them all the best, and I think this step will facilitate more investments by FPIs in the Indian economy. I wish after this the panel will have a very informative discussion on the panel, and new ideas will come up which can be taken up in the next. I'm hoping that some new ideas will come up which can be taken up for implementation by Government of India, and probably may become one of the announcements in the next budget. Thank you so much.
Thank you. May I now request our distinguished chief guest, Shri Praveen Garg, our special guest, Shri Ananta Barua, and Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan to together unveil their copies of the BSE ICCL FPI Handbook titled FPI's Easing Access to India. There are so many copies because they're in so many different languages. It's a very proud moment for all of us, and we're glad that we could share it with you. Now, we're not done yet. I'd actually also like to request our chief guest, Shri Praveen Garg, to launch the e-version, which will be available on the BSE website in the 8 languages. Thank you. And now to commemorate this occasion, Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO BSE, will present mementos to our chief guest, Shri Praveen Garg, Joint Secretary, Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance. And to Shri Ananta Barua, Executive Director, SEBI. And now, Shri Praveen Garg, Joint Secretary, Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, Shri Ananta Barua, Executive Director, SEBI, and Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan, MD and CEO, BSE, will present the International Language Handbooks to esteemed diplomats and leaders from the world of banking, broking, custody, and private equity that we are privileged to have present here with us today, representing different countries. We request that each recipient that I'm going to call upon remains on stage after receiving their handbook so we can take a photograph collectively after all the international language handbooks are presented. Firstly, I'd like to call upon Mr. Klaus Bormann, Chancellor of the Consulate General of the Federal Republic of Germany, to receive the German Language FPI Handbook. Then Japanese, then Chinese. The English Language FPI Handbook will be presented to Mr. Anish Kumar, CEO, BNY Mellon. The French handbook will be presented to Mr. Christophe Bielertz, Head of Securities Services, BNP Paribas. The Japanese handbook will be presented to Mr. Ravi Raja, Head of Operations, Nomura Financial Advisory. The Chinese Traditional Language Handbook will be presented to Mr. Wang Yang, Deputy Treasurer, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. The Chinese Simplified Language Handbook will be presented to Mr. Alex Varghese, Head of Operations, CLSA. And the Arabic Language Handbook will be presented to Mr. Amitabh Chakravarti, MD, Kitara Capital. I'd now like to request all our dignitaries to please come forward so we can take a photograph all together. And now, please stay on for just a little bit longer because Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan will also present mementos to all our international dignitaries. In addition, we would like to acknowledge our knowledge partners, EY and Pivot. Shri Ashish Kumar Chauhan will present mementos now to Shri Samir Gupta, partner, EY. And Shri Viraj Kulkarni, founder, Pivot. Thank you to all our esteemed dignitaries. Yes, finally now you can go down. Thank you so much. I'd now like to request Shri Neeraj Kulshrestha, Chief of Business Operations, BSE Limited, to present the vote of thanks.
So this is, it is a matter of great pleasure for both BSE and ICCL that on this occasion, on this momentous occasion of the launch of the FPI Handbook, we have the Ministry, our regulator, supporting us, the exchange, the Bombay Stock Exchange and ICCL in this launch. First of all, I would like to thank Shri Praveen Garg. Sir, you have taken time off despite your busy schedule. Thank you very much for all this support and for your words, where I think you simplified it when you put up the reason why we need FPI investment, when you said that we have around 30% below the poverty line. Therefore, growth is essential, and for growth, investment is required, and FPI investments are required. Thank you very much, sir. I would also like to thank Sri Ananta Barua. Sri Barua has been synonymous and has been the big facilitator with respect to FPI investments and all the regulations relating to FPI. Sir, your support and all your guidance and all the help that you have provided in terms of ensuring all these benchmarks and all these good regulations has been very widely appreciated by the whole market. Thank you very much, sir. So once again, and finally, I would like to thank all the dignitaries who have come here from various, including as well as all the other participants who have really supported us on this initiative. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir. We'll now very shortly resume with our panel discussion. Just bear with us as we reset the stage.